it's Evelyn here and welcome back to this, my very own little creative corner of the internet here on YouTube. Please, if you haven't done so already, hit that all important subscribe button for me. This week, my friends, I'm really excited to finally finish this year's birthday creation. I was waiting quite a few weeks for those zips to arrive, but they have arrived, my friends, so it's time to finish that birthday creation. So without further ado, come on, let's finish that sewing. Last time, my friends, we were left with a bodice that looked like this. So the very first task was to create, yes, you've guessed it, some sleeves, and for this I'm using my bishop sleeve pattern, and this pattern, my friends, can be found, yes, you've guessed it, drafted right here on the channel on my glass onion inspired jumpsuit. I'll pop a card above, and a link, as always, can also be found in the description box. Now these sleeves, my friends, are going to be created in a power mesh. Then it was time to create some simple cuffs. And wait for it, my friends, check out how these little cuffs look in this gorgeous mesh fabric. Now my bodice needed some lining, my friends, so I grabbed my bodice block back and cut out 2 of those. For the front piece, my friends, I'm going to transfer the neckline from my new pattern piece and use my bodice block front. You'll notice as well, my friends, that in the interests of saving fabric here, this lining is purple. Yes, because that's the bottom of this gorgeous ombre fabric. And believe you me, my friends, when this is lined, it looks really funny being purple on the inside and that gorgeous blue on the outside. Underlining is definitely going to be needed and required here. And you can see that crazy outer fabric lining combination here, my friends, accompanied, of course, by my gorgeous Luna. And you can see, my friends, that I've also installed those sleeves. Oh, just look at my baby girl. Here's some Luna time, friends. Now, although it's probably been condensed in this video down to probably just a minute or 2, my friends, creating and installing those power mesh sleeves was no mean feat. So it was time for a cup of tea, and I'll carry on the next day. And the first sewing task on this new day, friends, was to create the panty bottom of the leotard portion of this birthday creation, using a zigzag stitch and a stretch needle to allow this bottom portion of the leotard to stretch and to avoid those pesky skipped stitches, remembering to leave a space in the centre back to install that zip later. Panty all sewn, I grabbed the bodice and attached the 2 together at the waistline to create something that looked like this. And yes, at this point I was getting a little bit excited, and you always know, my friends, when I'm getting excited about a creation, because Betty comes out. Time to install that zip, my friends, and you best believe that after waiting weeks for it to arrive, I really took my time hand picking this zip before installing it on my machine. And if I do say so myself, this might be one of the most neat zips I've ever installed. Then it was time to create the skirt portion of this creation, my friends, beginning by creating this, a basic waistband. If you would like a tutorial on how to create basic waistbands like this one right here, I'll pop a card above to my gathered skirt tutorial. There's a complete instructive on there on how to create a basic waistband. As always, link in the description box too, my friends. And this skirt for this birthday creation, my friends, is a floor length gathered skirt. It's literally created, yes, using rectangles. And once again, you can check out my gathered skirt tutorial, my friends, because that shows you just how to do these stunning skirts. And yes, another zip to install. And then all that was left to create this skirt, my friends, was a bit of hemming and yes, pinning and stitching the skirt to the waistband. All that was left was a little bit of hand finishing inside the lining of that bodice and also on the inside of the waistband. Yes, finally, it's reveal time, my friends. Hello, Luna. Are you coming up? So there you go, my friends. Finally got this birthday creation for this year finished. Hello, Luna. Just in time, as you can see, for some stunning weather and some stunning roses. This is the absolutely beautiful Roald Dahl, and this is Desdemona. A huge shout out to David Austin Roses, who were great earlier this year and actually sent me these 2 roses completely free of charge to help me with my cancer recovery. So a huge thank you to you all there at David Austin Roses. Now, what about this gorgeous dress, my friends? Well, I am in love with ombre fabric, let's just say that. And this is one of the first times I've worked with viscose challis. And yes, a little bit obsessed. One thing I am going to need to do though is press this properly, because this neckline was not pressed because I've taken too long waiting for that zip to arrive. So you win some, you lose some. Remember to press those garments, my friends. But I ended up feeling a little bit like a princess. And you know what? There's always time for that. But until next time, my friends, you take care and stay safe. From Luna, Lyra, who's just off camera down there, and I, take care, friends. Bye. Hey you, how's the rose? Yes, lovely, isn't it? Yeah.